standard 23, we're looking at double angle identities. And we're going to actually derive these from our sum and difference identities. So sine of 2 theta. Do you guys agree that that's just sine of theta plus theta? Isn't that what 2 theta is? Theta plus theta? Okay. And then we have a formula for sine of an angle plus an angle, right? Isn't it sine theta cosine theta plus cosine theta sine theta? Does that make sense using the formula you learned last time? It's just the angles happen to be the exact same thing. Well, what do you notice about both of those? Is sine theta cosine theta the same as cosine theta sine theta? Yeah, so how many of them do I have? 2. So that's your formula. Sine of 2 theta is equal to 2 sine theta cosine theta. Okay, so there's your first one. Yeah. So think if you had like 2 times 3 times 5. Well, when you have 2 times 3 times 5, you just multiply, like, it's when there's a plus that you actually distribute, okay? Okay, let's do the same thing for cosine. So I'm going to look at cosine of theta plus theta. So with my formula, that'd be cosine theta minus sine theta sine theta. You guys see where those are coming from? You can look at your pink sheet if you need to. All right. Well, what is cosine theta times cosine theta? Cosine squared theta, yes. Minus, what's sine theta times sine theta? Sine squared theta. So there is your first double angle formula for cosine. You guys notice how the box is a little bit bigger for the cosine formula? It's because we can write other versions of this. So go ahead, draw a line, draw a line. We're going to come up with 2 other versions of that. All right, so I'm going to start with what we just found, cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. Could I replace the cosine squared theta with something? Yes. What? No. What is cosine squared theta?
1 minus sine squared theta.
Oh, look at that. You guys know stuff. Good job. All right, 1 minus sine squared theta, and then minus sine squared theta. Right? We're just replacing the cosine squared theta with 1 minus sine squared theta. So what does that simplify to?
1 minus 2 sine squared theta.
There you go. That is your second way you could write cosine of 2 theta. Okay, let's start again with cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta.
So, giving us these formulas though, like a lot of the problems we before had this kind of like thing.
You proved that before. You didn't even know what you were proving, but yes, you absolutely did that proof before. All right, so I start again with cosine squared minus sine squared. Last time I replaced cosine squared. What do you think I'm going to replace this time? Okay. So I'm going to have cosine squared theta minus, and then put it in parentheses. What is sine squared the same as? Good, 1 minus cosine squared. Okay, be careful with your negatives here. What do we end up with? No. Yes. You and your signs over there. You guys see how it's 2 cosine squared theta minus 1? Okay. Now, you don't have to use all 3 of these. It's just certain situations it's going to be easier to use a formula that only has sine or only has cosine in it. So that's why we look at all 3 of them as options, okay? But they'll all work in a problem. You can pick whichever one you want to do. All right, one more formula to find here. So tangent of 2 theta. That's tangent of theta plus theta. So if I look at my formula, that's tangent theta plus tangent theta over 1 minus tangent theta times tangent theta. Okay, what does that simplify to? What's the numerator? I have 2 tangent thetas, right? Okay, so 2 tangent theta over 1 minus what? What's tangent times tangent? Yeah, tangent squared theta. The tangent formula is always the ugliest. Just is. We okay there? Okay. So now using these formulas is very much like what you did with the sum and difference when you drew the triangle. Okay? So I'm going to give you information about an angle, tell you where it is, and then you just have to find sine of 2 theta, cosine 2 theta, tangent 2 theta. Okay? So let's look at the first example here. All right, sine of theta equals 3 over 5 in quadrant 1. So first, let me draw my triangle. Quadrant 1, so there's my triangle. There's theta. All right, sine is 3 over 5. What does that mean? Where did those numbers go? Yep, 3 goes over here. Where's the 5? Good. And do you guys know the other side? 4, okay. All right. We have everything we need now. So I'm first going to find sine of 2 theta. So I'm going to write out the formula. It's 2 sine theta cosine theta. So now we just plug in. It's 2 times, what is the sine of theta? No. I'm not dividing those. I'm saying, okay, like part A, I'm going to find the sine of 2 theta.
Okay.
And there's my formula for the sine of 2 theta. Okay. All right, so what is the sine of theta? What did we say? 3 over 5. And what is the cosine of theta? Okay, now it's just fun with fractions. Remember your 2 is 2 over 1, so you don't mess up your multiplication there. You multiply straight across. So what's 2 times 3 times 4? 24 over, what's 1 times 5 times 5? 25. Multiplication. Yeah, all right. All right, so there's my answer to sine of 2 theta. Okay. All right, up next, cosine 2 theta. Okay, you have choices here. Which formula do you want to use? It really doesn't matter. It's not like one is definitely easier than the others. So what do you want to pick? Someone make a choice for me.
1 minus 2 sine.
Okay, perfect. 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. All right, 1 minus 2 times, what's the sine of theta? 3 over 5, and that's going to be squared. Jesse, come over here, I'll show you the homework. Okay. All right, so what do we do first here? Got to square it. So homework 23 and 24. So let's do the double angle throughout it. It's just front and back.
Just all the double angle ones too, no
Yes,
fractions.
no fractions. All right, so this is really 1 minus 2 over 1 times 9 over 25. Okay with that? Move it up a little for you guys. When you square a fraction, you just square numerator and denominator. So this is really 1 minus 18 over 25. What should I turn that 1 into? Okay, 25 over 25. So what do I get? 7 over 25, yes. Yes, you can add and subtract and multiply without a calculator, guys. You got this. All right. Tangent of 2 theta. That's what's left. Okay, so my formula for tangent of 2 theta is 2 tangent of theta over 1 minus tangent squared theta. It's obviously going to be the ugly one. You know, fractions and fractions, but we'll get there. Okay, so looking at your triangle, what is the tangent of theta? 3/4, okay. So I have 2 times 3/4 over 1 minus 3/4 squared. Okay, so simplifying. Yes, I could multiply in the numerator, but could I just go ahead and simplify it before I try to multiply? Yeah. 2 over 1, I can reduce that. So are we okay with just 3/2 in the numerator? This is really 6 over 4, which is 3 over 2. Yes, okay. Reduce before you multiply, guys. Make your numbers smaller before you make them bigger. All right, over 1 minus, this is going to be 9 over 16. So what do I need to turn the 1 into? 16 over 16. You guys are getting much better at that. Okay, are you guys with me to this point? Or let me pause for a second, make sure you're caught up, because this is where it gets kind of ugly.
Hey, wouldn't you just go 7 over 16 times 2 over 3?
Not quite. You flipped the wrong one.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, so this is 3 over 2 over 7 over 16. So what do I really do at that point? And that's just 3 over 2 times 16 over 7. Now again, reduce before you multiply. The 2 goes into 16 8 times. So what do I end up with in my numerator? And then 8 times 3 is 24 over 7. That is your final answer. All right. Do you need me to walk you back through any part of that? It's just fractions, but there's a lot of fractions. Yeah.
How did you get this 7 over 16?
It was 1 minus 9 over 16, so I made that 16 over 16.
Oh, okay, I see.
And then that's 7. Yep. Questions? We doing okay? All right, turn the page when you're ready, guys. Just a little more. Question, Eddie? Are you okay? You good? Okay. The look is like. Okay. Let's change this just a little to make it not such awful numbers. So make it sine of theta is, let's do 5/13. Okay. You guys try it. Because I'm going to start passing stuff back while you are. Alright guys, I told you theta's in quadrant 1. Sine is 5/13, so you know the other side is 12, right? And I'm asking you to find sine of 2 theta. We know that is 2 sine theta cosine theta. So that's going to be 2 times 5/13 times 12/13. What'd you guys get? Good, 120/169. All right, guys, let's keep that same triangle for this problem, so ignore that. Same as number 1. And try to find cosine of theta for me. It does not matter which formula you pick, you should get to the same answer no matter what. What'd you get, guys?
What?
Very good. 119 over 169.
What if? Boy, could you scroll up a bit?
Is that okay?
Okay. So I think.
You know, subtracting. Yeah, oh,
I
those
was
are
like,
big
that's what
numbers.
Mark says, I should do formula and then I was like, I'm not online.
Guys, will you double check in your road and anybody get one that's not theirs? Actually,
For homework, maybe just do humans are
kind of. All right, guys, so homework. Homework 23 and 24 are combined, so we clearly cannot do all of this yet. So look at, do you see 1, 2, and 3, how those all have a 2a in them? But then 4, 5, and 6 have an a over 2. Do we know how to do anything with a over 2 right now? No. Okay, so you're only doing the ones that have the double angle in them. So that's going to be, so on the homework, 324, you will do 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, and then only a couple on that. 10 and 12. Okay? The rest deals with standard 24.